Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Friday, October the 9th. The year's 2020. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly wrap up. And you should know that these videos, for educational purposes only, your results may differ from mine. So let's go ahead and take a look here. As you can see, the pound is making highs. It broke through last week's high. It's already 63 pips above it. All the gaps have filled. No, they haven't. We've got two that didn't fill. I just noticed that. Okay, so you can see here once again broke through the high, the monthly, or the opening range for the month, broke through the opening range for the week. We are 206 pips below the daily open. You can see here if you look left, it's coming into some traffic. Inside bar broke through at 53 for the day at 065 here, 1.30, 065. For the weekly inside bar, that was 3 weeks ago. The daily inside bar was 5 days ago. And you can see here the monthly inside bar was 6 months ago, and we're way above that. Okay, range, only 4 over 100, and we've got the New Zealand US dollar right at 100. But you can see here the pound is definitely broken out. Pivot point was right near the daily open, so there was no bias. There was one short trigger here that paid off. Then you had a long trigger that paid off. And here you had a short trigger that reversed, but if you took the buy, it went to the moon from there. Red rats. And we've only got, well, let's see, on my server, I think we've got about to the top of the hour, but there's 2 hours left, maybe in some servers. So you can see here it's time for the red rats to feast. We are only 3 pips off of that high. Wait for a tick here. But you can see we had the monthly pivot at 1.3023. We had the weekly R1 at 1.30238. So we've hit those. For the weekly pivot, we did take that out. So we're just missing a couple this year. And if we look at the daily, you can see we've been taking them out. So far, no missed pivots in the month of October. But it looks like the 13047, looks like that pivot, or I'm sorry, the one, where is it? We're looking for 130427. That was 22 days ago. Right here on the 9th. Looks like that one's about to be taken out. Wick zone, definitely some price action outside the wick zone. See here, that might have been a scratch trade. Ditto for a couple of these others. A couple of them paid off to the downside, but then the top side paid off huge. Range, 137 pips. And when Walmart and I were trading, I think the range was about 68, if I remember correctly. And we said something has to go. So, and it did. It popped big. Now, if you remember what I've been talking about for the past couple weeks is that the pound likes to launch out of that 40 area. Well, it came down to the 129.40 area between 40 and 50. Actually, it started off right below it, but it was definitely an explosion out of it. And you can, Walmart can attest, I've been kicking myself for not staying in that long trade. You can see here, high minus the close. It's only at 4% right now, 4 percentile. We'll see if that'll back off before the day is up. On a trading chart, this is what we're looking at right here. And Walmall and I, we've been trading off of the 3-level ZZ semaphores, and we might introduce that method next week. We might talk about it a little bit more. We're still working out a few things that we've learned, such as we're adding on the trades as opposed to stopping out if it goes 7 or 10 pips against us. We're just waiting for the next trigger, which in this case, usually we trade on the M1, but we can also trade on the M5. So you see it put a 3-ball up here and it says 3 short bias. That's from 2 bars ago. So the trigger here would be going short right here at the line. You can almost think of it as a red rat reversal. Green bar closes, red bar closes, and then the next red bar breaks that low. Even though I've been thinking of some other refinements, the nice thing about this is we get things to cover, and we look to break this low, and then this low, and then this low, and then hopefully it would just tumble on down. The straight up Walmart trade, a lot of the price action was definitely to the north here. You would have gotten your fingers slightly burned here and slightly burned here and then slightly burned here if you went short. But when you see price that had consolidated for most of the first half of the day here, and we knew what the range was, it was due for an extension as opposed to reversals. So once again, that's why we use these range indicators, because if this number here is, once again, something low like yesterday, we only had 79 pips. So, we were looking to trade, we were looking for the range to expand, ditto for the day before. So when we started trading, this was at 68, we knew it had to expand. Now, of course, it could have stayed put and had another low day, but it's not very likely that happens. I mean, once again, this number is usually over 20 or more, 20 or more by the end of the day, and ditto for this number. High minus close, close minus low. And once again, we got a 3-ball on the top, looking to go short here. Now I'm trying to remember, there's a trader out there having problems loading indicators and templates. Google and YouTube are your friend. There's plenty of people who've already made videos how to load indicators, install indicators, and how to load templates and make your own chart templates. So just search the internet because other people have done it, so I see no point in doing it myself. I'd rather focus on trading, on our methods and the psychology here. Okay, what else do we have? Oh yeah, and the trader was asking about, does he put all the indicators on the chart? No, you don't need all those indicators. In fact, even on this chart, basically you only need a couple of indicators, the sweet spot indicator here that puts the the sweet spots puts the horizontal lines. You can see here, sweet spot line. And it also puts in the Walmart lines for you if you turn that feature on. And the other indicator you might want would be the 3-level ZZ. But when you're starting out, just look to trade the horizontal lines at the line. Don't worry about all the other different methods. Don't focus on all the other indicators. Just use the horizontal line, trade with the H1 candle color at the line. And then you'll master that, hopefully. You'll get your money and risk management down. You'll know when to take profit. And stick with one pair. Please stick with one pair. Don't jump around, because otherwise you won't get to know the pairs. Like Walmart's been trading the pound. I don't know how long. I've been started trading it again with him, I think back in February or March. And I'm starting to notice things and see things like that, launching out of the 40. Um, and if you don't stick with the pair, you're not going to pick up on those things. You'll be looking at it and you might not realize it, but it'll get into your subconscious and then you'll go, oh, okay, that's how that's working. And then also just the way the price moves. Like, on some days it might be flashing up and down a couple of pips at a time. So, you go to take profit and you think you're up a pip or two, and the next thing you know, you hit close and then it flashes against you and takes all the profit away and maybe puts you in a loss. In fact, that happened to me once today. And I even said, you know what? I hope this thing doesn't flash against me. I really want to be up by a couple of pips or more before I hit the close button. And I thought I had it. As soon as I hit that close button, it jumped against me. A winning trade into a slight loss, but it was nothing I couldn't recover from, in which I did. So that's what I have to tell the new traders out there. And just try not to get caught up. Yes, I present a lot of methods: the pivot, the buy zone, the wick zone, the rat zone. If you're new starting out, don't even focus on that. Just focus on the horizontal lines, because I've got that video with all you need to trade is a horizontal line. Price is either going to close above that line or close below it. It's either going to break through it or it's going to reverse off of it. That's all price can do. So it's just something to keep in mind as you're trading. But I know you're tempted. You're new. You see all these cool things. You see all these cool indicators. I mean, there's a bunch, and I show them every day, and you're tempted. You want them. But the fact of the matter is that, you have to crawl before you walk, and you have to walk before you run. And so right here, you have learn to crawl right here at the horizontal lines. And then once you get good at that, you can then start to learn the other methods, because those other methods are based off horizontal lines, just different ones than these. So you need to get the basics down before you have to worry about a bunch of other rules. So you've got the horizontal lines, put your stop loss in place, you got your risk management down. I've talked about it probably ad nauseum. In fact, let's look at that chart once again here. Risk management, risk. How much are you willing to lose per trade? And so once you figure that out, then you put that in the equation. If you know where your stop loss is, then you can calculate your position size. But if you always have the same position size, then you're going to pretty much have the same stop loss when the risk is the same. So if you're just trading, at a dime a pip, okay, and you only want to, risk $1 a trade, that's okay. That's learning. That's, you're going to start out with that, and then just go ahead and do it. And then you do that over and over again, and then you'll start to understand how it works. So you can start to see your winning streaks, your losing streak. Are you up or down at the end of the week? What did you do wrong? Were you too slow? Did you hesitate? Those are the things you learn by just trading with the horizontal line. Because once you master this part and you wipe out those trading mistakes, then you can move on to those other methods. So in fact, a lot of times when Walmart and I are talking, this is a chart I show, because it's simple. It works every day. It doesn't matter if the market's ranging or if it's breaking out and expanding. All that stuff, you don't have to, once again, you don't have to focus on it. Simple horizontal line trading. So fellow traders, I hope you have had a profitable week. Hope you have a fun and safe weekend. And so when you come back to your trading platform next week, always remember, never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.